Hi everyone, I'm Florent Dabadie. I'm a newscaster and journalist here in Japan. Yeah, there's a new hype about vintage watches around the world. I believe the Seiko Presage line surpasses what is generally termed vintage by successfully bringing back memories of the past, of course, but at the same time transcending this by using state-of-the-art technology. The Presage philosophy has given new meaning to the concept of made in Japan. For me, the Presage craftsmanship watches are a heritage of a country which has always adored beauty. Japanese beauty is often found in more faint or subtle nuances that we have in the West. The Seiko Presage watch dials have a unique glow which is not so flashy but radiates warmth. All the artisans I encountered through this Seiko Presage making journey stressed that to bring Japanese traditional craftsmanship to the infinitely small world of watchmaking was a difficult challenge. Japanese artisans are among the best in the world for their dedication, their concentration, and patience, which in a way embodies the Zen spirit and the resilience of this island nation. There is also a strong, almost holy respect for the environment here in Japan, so that before the world made words like eco or organic a trend, I think Japan has always been careful with the relationship between its craft and its nature. I also feel that the Seiko Presage carries a strong message of longevity between the craftsman and the watch owner. As it is a tradition that is handed down, you feel that you have to preserve it, and the bond becomes stronger every day. I think France and Japan both have a passion for highly skilled artisans. They have a nostalgia towards old traditions and a definite taste for delicate art throughout history. France sometimes tries to adapt its tradition and crafts to the contemporary world with bolder design, like the glass pyramid at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Japan, on the other hand, can mix tradition with technology, but tries to preserve the traditional values and methods. One of the main things I find attractive about Japan is the people's coherence to the national narrative, trying to preserve a certain tradition, a vision of its own ecosystem. For example, the language, the environment, the mentality. And being able to do that in a small Scandinavian country is one thing, but doing it in a country of 130 million people, which is also the third largest economy in the world, is almost a miracle. What I have come to understand is that every region had a strong feudal structure with a ruling lord and castle, a strong business community, and many patrons of the arts. In Italy, you can find this in the north, and in France, near what today become the major cities. But what is amazing here in Japan is that this arrangement is all over the islands. Every part of Japan's four main islands was a cultural hotspot. Arita is probably the most famous town of the Saga Prefecture. I know Saga Prefecture as I've been traveling there for the past 20 years every summer. I have seen many beautiful imari or arita dishes. As a Japanese food lover, I have always thought that what makes Japanese food culture one of the most amazing in the world is the tableware. Arita has a lot of mountains, and you understand how the mountains protected their craftsmen and their secrets in those small hidden valleys. It's a bit like Switzerland in this way. I have seen famous porcelain in Taiwan, in Vietnam, and Limoges, France too. I like them all. However, for me, Japanese porcelain has something gentle in the colors and design which I do not find anywhere else. I have been to Kanazawa many times. It is one of my favorite places in Japan. There is something dreamlike about winter there on the Japan Sea. During the Edo period, it was a major trade route, and many of the cities along this coastal route are very rich, both materially and culturally. There is a tradition of high culture. Black and red lacquer both have this magical luster and warmth which, in a way, is induced by the Japan Sea, because this Japan Sea has a more humble, pale gray scenery, especially in winter. So you need colors in much the same way as you find them on the Baltic Sea in Estonian and Lithuanian craft. Ibaraki is a true hidden gem. The wildness of the mountains, the winds of the Pacific Ocean. Nature is strong and bright there, which embodies the characteristics of animal. In the city of Mito, I learned a lot about history. Throughout the centuries, even in wars in the Middle Ages, the feudal lords there had strong feelings for arts and crafts, whether it is tea ceremony, architecture, or poetry. At the same time, the lords were actors of change. They created a unique university which was revered through the whole country. It is not surprising for me that today in Ibaraki there is a famous technological park. Please come along and enjoy a journey to discover world-famous Japanese craft, learn about the Seiko Presage mix of tradition and technology.